everybody, and welcome to the channel. It's Paulie Esther here, and what the heck is happening? Did somebody change the rules of April Fools on me here, and I have to be on guard for the entire month of April? What is going on? Alright, I'm going to show you some stuff that happened starting with, like, April the 4th. But I'm going to be careful about this because it could be that the person who showed me this had the best intentions and they weren't actually trying to troll me. So I don't want to give them any hate. I'm going to walk you through the timeline of this and show you what was presented to me as a Five Nights at Freddy's tease in Dead by Daylight. So on a YouTube video, you know, I'm always looking at the comments to see what everybody has to say and hearting the comments that I've read so that people, you know, feel heard and acknowledged for all your viewpoints. I always appreciate all the things that you all write and have to say. So I was going through the comments the other day. It looks like this was on April the 4th. And I got this message here. It says, "Hey, Paulie, I have a tinfoil hat situation. It's an Easter egg discovery on the new map with the Skull Merchant. If you activate her radar near the broken monitor, sometimes you get a new feed. And in that new feed, the image on the screen now has a floor with a very familiar pattern. Get your tinfoil hat ready," with an emoji of a teddy bear or a bear. So, you know, my interest was piqued. I like to, you know, see these little tips and things that people send me down these rabbit holes and ask me to investigate different theories and stuff, like I did with Coconut's video about the three Five Nights at Freddy character heads on the base and the replay center of the new game Meet Your Maker. That a tease towards the 7th anniversary. So I was looking at this and I said, okay, let me see what they're talking about. So I went into Dead by Daylight and I used bots and went in the Shelter Woods map to try and figure out where they were talking about. And I saw that there was the one feed, it says feed lost on the one monitor in the new version of Shelter Woods, which is Skull Merchant's hunting camp. And so I was like, is this the monitor they were talking about? And I was like clicking my radar in there, didn't get anything to happen. So I said, okay, I'll investigate. So then I followed back up with them and I said, by the broken monitor, you mean the one that has static on it and says camera feed lost? And they said, yes, sir. And they said, I have a screenshot, but I'm having trouble logging into my Twitter to tweet you. And so then I said, well, it didn't change for me in my bot match when I was pressing on my radar thing with as Skull Merchant. I didn't observe any changes. It doesn't necessarily mean anything because, you know, it could be something that has to happen in live games and not in custom matches with bots. But anyway, so then they wrote me back and said I was finally able to unlock my Twitter and I sent you a tweet. I have only seen this once myself in game. But I saw it during a streamer's gameplay on Twitch, but I didn't pay it much mind. I wonder if it requires other mechanics to activate or if it's random. So they, you know, contend that they saw it on a streamer's gameplay on Twitch, which, I mean, it sounds like it's live, or I guess it could be on a VOD, but they saw it happen on Twitch. So I'm like, okay, now I'm really interested because they have confirmed sighting themselves, right? So then once I saw on YouTube comments that they said they had sent me a tweet, I went over to my Twitter and I indeed found the screenshot that they had sent me, and it was this image here, and you can see that it's the Skull Merchant holding her handheld radar device in front of that computer monitor that normally says that it has lost the feed, and instead the feed is replaced with this checkerboard square floor, which is, you know, obviously from Five Nights at Freddy's, with that Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria floor that you see in some of the security camera footage, which is, you know, it's kind of clever that this is security camera footage for the Skull Merchant, and it's been replaced with Freddy Fazbear security camera footage, right? And then they sent me a side-by-side just to drive the point home, saying here's a side-by-side of the floor in FNAF and what we're seeing on the monitor in DVD, and it says, "What do you think, Paulie? It's very suspicious to me." So I was like, "Holy heck!" Okay, so I went in a couple more times, tried everything that I could think of to see if I could trigger a change in the monitor. At the same time, the image just looked, a little bit fishy to me. The colors of it, it looked as if it were Photoshop, because from this, with all the purple hue on the other monitor screens, you don't see any of that translated into the FNAF footage. The FNAF footage is crystal clear without any purple hue on it like anything else. And then if you look closely, you notice in the bottom corner that there's a little thing that says YouTube subscribe. So seeing that YouTube subscribe thing in the corner gave me even more pause. It made me question the validity of it being a screenshot from their own experience or from a Twitch stream. And, I always try, and I already had my reservations about it, as I said, because of the composition of the screenshot. And, I always try and vet this stuff out. I don't just go forward with everything that comes across my desk. I try to vet things before I show them to you. Or, I may show you something to debunk it if I can prove that it isn't true in my estimation. But I don't just show you every single thing. So I decided, well, I'll just put this in put a pin in this for a few days. I think that was like on April the 6th by the time I had reached that point. Then a couple days later, a friend email reached out to me and said, "Hey, has anybody been trying to run something up your flagpole lately that stinks?" And I said, "Well, why do you say that?" And they said, "Well, it seems that Kyto put out this video on April Fool's Day, and some people are being fooled by the 30 secrets in DBD. Some of them are true and some of them aren't. And they're being fooled by some of the untruthful ones making videos about it." I said, "Oh, okay." And so I said, "Well, is there any mention of a monitor changing on the Shelter Woods map in that video?" And they said, "Oh, yes." And I said, "Interesting." So then they sent me a screenshot of that moment from Kyto's video, secret number 27, in which Kyto just casually mentions that the Skull Merchant with her radar somehow can change the feed on this monitor, and doesn't even make any mention of it having anything to do with Five Nights at Freddy's. I guess Kyto just knows that the community is going to recognize it on their own and freak out. So, I mean, that is a pretty big April Fool's joke. That could have been an April Fool's joke all on its own, if you ask me. But yeah, so when I see the wider shot of the screenshot, I have the same reservations, seeing it in video too, that the other monitors have that purple wash over them, but this one doesn't. So I don't believe it to be true. So, I mean, it's a smart video by Kyto, because of the 30 secrets, some are true, some aren't. I haven't done a rundown of all 30 to see what is what. But, I don't personally believe that if you shoot every fire alarm on the Larry's map that the lights will go out. But I could be wrong. So it's a mix of some truths and some falsehoods. And it's a rather clever April Fool's presentation. And it seems that this screenshot was certainly gleaned from Kyto's April Fool's video, if you ask me. Now, is it impossible that there's a way to activate your radar and make the monitor change? No, but I don't think it's true. I'm not sure if Kyto has fessed up on it or not. I guess I could just reach out and ask him. But I'm pretty sure that it's an April Fool's joke that has subsequently been extended upon me with, I think this person had the best intentions and wanted to let me know that I think they believed it was real and presented it to me as either something that they had seen on a Twitch stream or something that they had seen themselves and wanted me to investigate and validate it. But I don't think it really ever happened. I think it's some fine Photoshop work by Kyto there, and I don't think there really is a way to change the feed to a corridor of Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. It would be very clever. It would be a very clever tease if it were true. So I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, though. I mean, you can go explore and see if you can draw your own conclusions. See if you can get the Five Nights at Freddy's feed to pop up on that monitor. But it doesn't look right to me. So I think there's some shenanigans going on there in Kyto's video with half of the secrets are real and half of the secrets are April Fool's shenanigans. But it was a clever video. And yeah, so I didn't see it first run. I saw it after the fact. I'm embarrassed to say because somebody sent me down this rabbit hole of investigating the Five Nights at Freddy's teaser in Dead by Daylight, which I think only exists in Kyto's video for April Fool's Day. But I would love to see somebody prove me wrong, because that would be like that would be some of the most solid evidence that you could ever show me, if you can get that to generate in game and make it pop up. I think that would clinch it, that there's obviously something going on between Dead by Daylight and Five Nights at Freddy's, but I don't believe it's genuine. So that's my take on the whole thing, and I wanted to share my journey with you from my extended April Fool's Day here. 10 days in to April, looking at this monitor for the Five Nights at Freddy's teaser. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so very much for watching. As always, I appreciate the time you spend here with me on my channel. And don't forget to take care of each other in and out of the fog. We'll see you next time. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.
It's a Gen Rush life for us. It's a Gen Rush life for us. Set a hiding, we do gens. Set a randoms, we got friends. It's a Gen Rush life.